Hi, it's me, Ivy Barksdale Realtor with Guide Realty, coming to you once again with Black history from a personal perspective. Now, the last time I told you about how my parents, Viola Martin and James Mapp, met and married. So, just who was this James Mapp fella that my granddaddy suggested stay in Tennessee? Well, James Rogers Mapp was born August 16, 1927, to Mattie Lou Hargrove Mapp and Albert Mapp, a Baptist minister. He was born in an area about 5 miles outside of Mayfield, Georgia. And his mother and dad separated when James was almost 3 years old. So shortly after that, his mother, his younger sister married, and 3 uncles moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And unfortunately, Albert Mapp died in 1930 from complications due to pneumonia and tuberculosis. In 1933, James Mapp and his family moved back to Mayfield, Georgia, to live with his aunt Rosa Tyus, his mother's sister, and her son Noah, who he also called Junior. A couple of years later, Mattie, James's mother, would return to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and left James and Mary with their grandparents, Grandpa Henry, who was also a Baptist minister, and Grandma Eleonora. So while staying with his grandparents, James learned how to work on a farm. They had a horse, they had crops to bring in and things like that. So he learned the value of hard work. But in 1937, his grandparents decided they were going to move to Chattanooga, Tennessee to be closer to their children. And it was at this time that James would learn his first valuable life lesson. And this lesson would begin to shape him into the man he would become. So it seems that upon hearing that Grandpa Henry was going to move to Chattanooga, a white man by the name of Mr. Little Arthur Reynolds came to Grandpa Henry and said to him, "We're going to take your farm and call it even." Grandpa Henry said, "But I don't owe you anything." Reynolds insisted that the debt was owed, and then he looked over and saw the 16-year-old horse and said, "We'll take the horse too." Although Grandpa Henry continued to insist that no debt was owed, he had no way to prove it. See, during that time of segregation, no court would hear a case of a black man complaining against a white man, nor would a lawyer take the case even. So Grandpa Henry was forced to give up the farm and the horse. What a horrible lesson to learn at such a young age. But next time, we'll talk about other life lessons learned by the young James Mapp.